So think about everything you have done in your life, how much failure, how much success. And you will see that most of what you have done in your life is a success. It makes you more efficient and you can actually dedicate more energy to innovate and look outside in more intentionally.
What is the difference between the people who win or the people who don't understand what to do and then end up failing? Like, what is it that they implement successfully? Hello everyone and welcome back to Atypical Journey, the podcast where we explore inspiring stories of people who have walked unconventional paths, rebuilt themselves and created impact along the way. Today I am joined by Jean-Marc Papin. He's the founder of Blue Wind Advisory. Jean-Marc's journey spans across continents and different industries, from engineering to advertising, AI consulting, and now entrepreneurship. We are going to walk through his journey, everything he learned along the way, and the valuable insights that he has to share with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me, Jean-Marc. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hi, Edith. Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So for those who may not know you, I will let you introduce yourself more in depth, who you are and what you do right now.
Yeah, so I'm you say my name, Jean-Marc Papin. So I was born and raised in France, but now what I'm doing, I just started a new business called Blue Wind Advisory. So we are an AI enablement, let's say data and AI enablement consulting shop, which is designed to help organizations extracting more value out of the AI revolution, I would say. Right. Yeah. When we think about more value, it generates operational efficiencies, potentially generate incremental revenues, and any other operational outcome that our clients might be looking for. We have like different ways to approach that. I mean, we have a team of data engineers. We have a principal AI architect who organizes everything. We have a team of consultants, information security expert who will be helping the clients tackling AI as a whole, and then we have the ability of execution because most of the time everything gets into building agentic. So yeah, our team is also able to build agents and deploy those agents across the organizations.
That's amazing. Obviously, that's a long road to get to where you are right now, to gather all of this knowledge and to, see the industry gap and to decide to fill it. So I want to know where your journey starts. We have to go back to the beginning. You said you were born in France. Can you tell me a little bit about what it looked like when you were growing up?
Yeah, so I was very fortunate to be born in the very western part of France. It's called Brittany in English, it's called Bretagne in French. Mm-hmm. And this is really where I was born. The ocean is at the center of life, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody sails, everybody fishes, scuba dives, everyone has a relation with the ocean. Mm-hmm. Most of the economy, especially when I was a kid, all the economy, the income of the region was with fishing, right? Mm-hmm. My hometown, Concarneau, was the first fishing port in France at that time. And everything was around it, right? So my early life was really about around the oceans. For that, I've been like sailing since I was a baby, I would say. Yeah, I had a pretty happy childhood. One of the things that I think the first time I say that, so because it's you, I would just say it. So we were three brothers, and one of my brother was a big severe handicap. And that orders, he has basically a muscular dystrophy. It's called Duchenne. It happens to 1 out of 1 million kids or something like that. So basically you have your muscle don't develop, right? So when you have those situations, life is changing every day, right? You have like to deal with new challenges every day. So that teaches you an incredible amount of resilience. For my parents, from me and my other brother, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the three of us technically. Yeah. So it was very, very difficult to deal with that because you're always the weirdo, right? In the room, right? Because you have your brother, you have like in the wheelchair and everything. So and we still have to do everything with him, right? He was on the boat, so we had. When he was a bit like when he was in a teenager, we built like a Formula One driver seat in carbon fiber that we were like fixing on the boat, and we was just with us on the boat, right? Just like, we were able like always to find solution. But that was something that taught me a lot about resilience, taught me a lot about creativity, and deal with tough challenges, right? So things can be as easy as they look, but you have to make them easy, right? And that's a little bit, one of the big things. That's a little bit where I come from.
Growing up with that challenge and having it as a daily thing, and of course being there for your brother and seeing the whole family being together to find solutions to make life more practical, did that change what you thought about success or happiness or what was important in life? Did you have big dreams? Did you imagine that your life would take you where you are right now? Like, what were your goals as a child?
So I didn't have like honestly big dreams. The other thing is where I come from is you have like all those. I mean, in France, sailing is a popular sport, right? You have ton of guys who are like crossing the ocean, sailing around the world, like winning those races around the world. And it happened. It was nearby, close to me, right? And most of them are friends of mine, or even friends of my parents. So for me, the dream was always around this, right? About traveling the world with a sailboat and winning those big races. That was basically what most of the kids would be dreaming there, right?
Yes.
So everything, again, is about adventure and about, as we say, figure out what's behind the horizon line. Many of the kids in middle school were not going even to high school. They were going to fishing school, and then with 16 years old being hired on a fishing boat and just like doing 15 years at sea, and just that they were making their life like this, right? And those kids were traveling the world on this, right? Because you have like what we call the chalutier that were going 2 weeks basically around Spain and Ireland, but then the tuna boats were going in the Indian Ocean, and they were leaving basically 3 months and come back 1 month and a half. So so we have been used to, I mean, where I come from, where we have been used to this, right? About the adventure and discovery.
Yeah. Well, as you grew up, you did not become a fisherman.
No.
What did you study in college, and why?
So when I grew up, I was a decent student at school, but it was really not my passion, right?
Really?
No, I was always into sports. So when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I was very good at BMX, like the bicycle, motocross. Yeah, I was very good at this. I won like dozens of competitions about it, and then one gone into when I was like basically end of middle school, beginning of high school. Even if I sailed all my life, I just became very, very passionate about like sailing competition. So even if I was doing school, really for me, sailing was really the center of my life, and it's still the center of my life here. And naturally for me, it was natural like to get into engineering school, because when you're on a boat and you sail and you compete, you have like tons of technical parameters to deal with, right? You have like to prepare the boat to be optimized. You on the boat, you have like, especially like cruising boat that we were sailing, you have like electronics, you have mechanics. So you need to know how to fix an engine. You need to fix out the electronics and stuff, because it was at that time was not that reliable. And then also everything which is like more related to the sail, and then like optimize the boat to be faster, and then you have like to sail the boat, and you have to know how to navigate. And so for me it was very natural to get into something more engineering and engineering in general. So I studied mechanical engineering, which in France it's quite difficult to get in, because you have to do a lot of math. People who are working with me here, they can feel that. I'm quite challenging on math and very demanding typically with people on basic things. So it's a lot of math, and then it's a lot about design, about understanding mechanical phenomenon, like fluid dynamics, thermics. That was like my favorite things. When I studied that, just did some masters in a very good business school in France called EDEC, and got my masters, and that's it. I was ready for life.
Yeah. And where did life take you after that?
So just after school, at that time, I was the last generation who had to do the military service in France. So there was an option for us to do. I had two options basically. So I mean, three options. I had like regular military service, just military would take me wherever they want. The other one was to be like a sportsman, like you would be detached to a specific area where you would be competing. I mean, doing your sport full time. And then the third one would be working in a company. In a French company in a foreign country, right? And I chose that option. So basically, I had a dilemma between. There was a very famous sailing competition called America's Cup. So the head of the team at that time called me, said, "You want to go into the team, and we will work like on this during the next 5 years." And I decided to go the more normal way and went to Spain, in Madrid. To do that military service for the French railways, which was actually super nice, and I never regretted the decision. But yeah.
When you went there, did you think that you would stay there for a long time, or just complete your military service and then go back?
That's a good question. I didn't know, to be honest. Definitely, I thought that the military service, when you do this way, it's about 2 years, or a bit under 2 years. So I thought I would be doing this 2 years and come back, right? And actually, I landed a couple of jobs in Paris at the end of that time, and my wife and I mean, was my girlfriend at the time, just decided to stay because we just liked it. And many people who are going to Madrid because they just land there because they have an opportunity, many people, like most of them, would stay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a place where.
What do you like about it?
I mean, the lifestyle is incredible. You have good weather. So I said earlier, I was from Brittany, the west of France. So you have like 200 days of rain a year. There you have like 200 days of sun like with not a single cloud, right? So it's a completely different story. I really enjoy that, and the lifestyle is great. Spanish people are very warm, very open. Very simple also. They just like they talk with everyone. Everything looks possible there, and Madrid is a very nice city. I made a lot of friends going out like every weekend, and it was so easy to handle, right? So when you're there, you have no reason to leave it, right?
In the beginning, did it take some time to adjust, to learn the language, to make friends? Did you feel lost at some point, or it was really a piece of cake, like you make it sound like?
So my wife is Spanish. So
did you meet there at that time, or
no? We
France
met in the
before?
north of France when I studied engineering school. But she speaks perfectly French. But it helped me a lot. Because I was able to learn the language quite quickly. She would be correcting me a lot. Honestly, it was very easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in Spain?
15 years.
15 years.
We had no plan to move. I was established there. There was no... I was very successful. My wife too. We were just like...
Can you walk me through your career in Spain? Like, what industries, what jobs did you have there?
Yeah, so all my career in general has been around management consulting, right? So I started my career in Accenture. I mean, after the French military, the French railways, I did like nearly 8 years at Accenture, right? And the way Accenture works is in management. I was in the management consulting. I was not in the technology area. So you go to clients and work with them on big transformation project, right? So it was basically the decade of the 2000s, right? And at that time, it was really a huge time for big digital transformation. Many companies were implementing newer ERPs. It was really the decades of SAP. My specialty was actually product innovation, what we call PLM, product lifecycle management, which is really about product development and innovation, right? And I was across industry. So some people would be specific by industry, but as one of my mentors, I can maybe mention his name. He's just been nominated president of Accenture in France, and big guy, Jean-Luc. So congrats to Jean-Luc to your nomination. He was saying, no, but you guys in your division, you are seeing the companies like this, right? and I think this is a good way, because I was saying like product lifecycle management across any industry, right? And so for that's where I landed into Airbus, doing like a all in between Airbus, EADS, probably 3 or 4 years of work on the A380 aircraft, the double-deck aircraft, doing process integration.
That's quite a change.
That's a big change. So I was deployed in France and Germany all that time, a little bit in Spain, but I was basically living in Toulouse from Monday to Friday. So yeah, when I see people today who don't want to go to the office, I was like Monday to Friday, not at home, and living in a hotel. But it was, I have so great memories for this, learning so much. Aeronautics is a very complex industry because it's the product is complex. It's very politicized. You have, those companies in Europe are owned by more or less the government. Airbus is composed of 4 different countries: Germany, France, UK, and Spain. So you have like those conflict between countries. And then it's very regulated. So all of this together makes a very, very complex business. So really for us, for the value for Accenture to Airbus to bring people like us, we would be a little bit agnostic, right? We would be able to work with engineering offices in Germany, in the UK, in France, in Spain, and basically be neutral in the whole thing, helping the whole thing coming together. And it was at that time for the A380, and the A380 was very complex because it was the first digitally designed aircraft. So that was very difficult.
So what kind of patterns and knowledge did you have to notice and learn for you to be successful? And, that's quite a change. So it's a learning curve. What abilities did you have that made you successful in those industries and, managing products that are very new to you? So
the most important thing there is, if you have to do one thing, is understand your client's business. If you don't get that will be very difficult for you to be very successful. When I started in advertising here, I had no idea about advertising, right? And people don't like when I say that, it's possible. No, it's possible, it exists. But I spent a considerable amount of time and energy understanding it, talking with people, asking questions, reading, going to conferences, and basically getting infused with everything, with the vernacular, with the main companies, the processes, what the client are asking you, etc. Right? So when you're a consultant, you really that's the first thing you have to do is really learning what your client business is. Your client business learning is very simple, is how you make money and how you lose money. So you need to know where the money gets in. And I would give a challenge to many people today in the street here in New York or wherever, if they really know where their company makes money. Who are your clients? I'm not sure many people don't really understand how they get paycheck every month, but I'm sure many people don't understand where the money gets from. Where the money comes from. And I think this is very, very important, because this is where you will have to focus your energy. Otherwise, your value will not be tangible.
So what's the difference between people who are successful in aligning, all those product features, product development with business goals? What is the difference between the people who win or the people who don't understand what to do and then end up failing? What is it that they implement successfully?
What's super important is, one is a vision. Right? You need to start with a vision. You need to know where you go. If you get out of your house in the morning, you take your car, you know where you go, right? Maybe sometimes you don't, and you just say, I'll take my car, we'll see how I'm inspired, right? But most of the time, you know why you are doing that, right? So it's very important to have that vision and be able to articulate that vision in things, let's say, in sub-vision that people understand. So I think that's the first thing, right? And I think the second thing is to have people engage with it and really have the team engaged across the board, right? And you have to accept that people have different perspective on this. And I'm not advocating for confrontation, but it's part of it, because if you are doing something very monolithic, which, okay, I say that and everybody follows you, the result will be very poor, very shallow.
True.
So to give the depths and have something very cohesive that can be structurally sound and evolve in the future, I think it has to be part of a team which is multidisciplinary, has an opinion, and just everyone just start working together and make the bricks fitting together. Where the leader is a good leader makes a difference, in my opinion, is sticking with a vision. And
sometimes that's hard.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult sticking with a vision. And I can tell you when we do sailing, for example, right, with my team, we did like very good result, like, I mean, the last few years. And many times we were to say, no, we have to do that will be a strategy for the race. We will here on that part of the course, and then on that part of the course, and finish there, right? We have like a plan. And you start the race and you do exactly the opposite. And you guess what? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you do that, there is a reason why you do that, right? Because you see a short-term opportunity, you have like someone disturbing you, and you are a little bit forced to this. And you have to stick with it, right? Yeah. Doesn't mean you have to be inflexible, but you have to stick with a vision. That's, for me, the most important thing.
Has there been any project that you took and it was quite challenging for you?
All of them. Because when you start a project, everyone will recognize themselves here, right? You don't know the results. You don't know how to tackle it, right? And what you bring to the table is the ability to solve issues and to actually make something out of the project. But maybe I could take a few ones that I've really no clue what I was talking about. I should say the first one at Horizon Media. Basically, I came as a consultant at Horizon. And I was just sent by the consulting firm I was working for. And they were saying, no, you will be a project manager on a data lake, and it's all about agile methodology. I was okay. Data lake, what is it? Media, what is it? And agile methodology, what the heck can it be, right? So you have to trust your abilities to say, okay, nothing must be very complicated, but I have like to put the right pieces together and be very humble in the way you tackle it. Ask a lot of questions. And if you make mistakes, don't be afraid. I can tell you a fun story about it. So it was one of my very first meetings with my client at that time. So Laura, her name is, she would recognize herself. And we were like doing a status meeting. It was like, I was 1 month in. And status meeting, and say, okay, Jean-Marc, you will do this. And I said, and I was with my Accenture, PwC mine. I was saying, I'm not sure if I can do that because I don't think this is in the scope of the project. In the SOW, you have to check the SOW, otherwise check with my company if I can do something which is not in scope. Yeah. The only regret I have is not having a camera to take a picture of her face when I said that, because and a recorder to hear like all the birth names that have been pronounced after this, because it was like, okay, I remember, so okay, I'm fired here. So you have like situation like this, you're like, okay, all right, I'm not on the right track here. Yeah. Let's correct, right? You can't take this personally, right? You have to start this. Okay, I'm on the wrong track. Okay, no worries. We will correct right away.
So was it sounds like it was like a very big change, immersing yourself in advertising. And I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but what about the advertising and media industry was really different from all the things and projects that you've done before, besides, not being maybe familiar with the environment? Is there any technical differences?
Technically, you don't have too many differences. Okay. At the end of the day, most of the corporate technologies that companies are using are the same. That's true that media have their few specific one, like MediaOcean or is BMS. But at the end of the day, the ARP are the same. You have like Workday to manage HR. You have similar time reporting tools. You have everything is relatively similar. Like for the data, we are using AWS, Snowflake, Azure. So all of this is relatively standard. So the technology is not really a big issue, right? So what makes everything different is really about how you are making things coming together and having like let's say if you take like something with a balance with different weights, finding which weight goes where, right? Because that's what makes a specific recipe for a business. Now, what I learned, and I want to share that with people here, right? You have different type of businesses, right? So in industry, you have, for me, discrete and process industries.
Can you elaborate?
Okay. Discrete is everything that you manufacture, right? Like this, you have like different parts that you assemble together. A process industry is everything which is a result of a process. Most of which food, beer, chemical products, right? Most of the food, when we say processed food, is because it's processed. We have cooking, you have waiting time, you have temperature, you have freezing, etc. So those are two very different ways to manage business. And I will tell you a story about this. One of my projects at Accenture was with Michelin. So it's a very interesting company. It's in the center of France, in a place called Clermont-Ferrand. Like it's a geographic center of France. A town which only lives from Michelin. And they were looking for consultants, and they were only looking for consultants that have process industry expertise. And even more than that, they were saying, we want process industry and consumer goods. It just happened that all the year before, I had done a financial modeling for a brewery, a big brewery company in Spain. And why they were doing that? Because the gum to build a tire is a chemical compound. And this is processed, right? And then why consumer goods? Because they would be saying, look, on a car, when you want to change a part, the only part that has a brand, and you will choose the part based on the brand, is tires.
Really?
Think about anything else. If I go to change my tires, my car, I will go to Costco, whatever. You have like Uniroyal, we have Goodrich, Michelin, Bridgestone, whatever, and you have to pick the one you want, right? So that's actually the only part of a car that has actually a brand. Even when you buy a new car, you would see the brand of the tire on the car. So that's why they don't believe themselves, they don't see themselves as a automotive industry, they see themselves as a process industry. So that's the first thing in industry. The other thing is in the professional services, right? So for me, people in advertising will hate me for that. Advertising is a professional services industry, right? In professional services, you have different things. You have like pure professional services when you basically give services like consultants. You have like transactional businesses. Advertising is a transactional business. You help your client transacting and you make it efficiently. That's what you do. It's very similar to real estate. People hate me when I say that. All right? It's very similar because you are making the most out of your client's money. And it's very difficult. Why is it different for everything else? Urgency and timing is fundamental, which was, imagine when you come from Airbus, obviously urgency, you have urgency, obviously timing is important. But the most important is safety, it's quality, make sure that the plane is certified and everything is done properly, right? So here there's no concession to timing. So for me, it was like a big learning because I tend to think okay, we have this problem. All right, let's think about it. Let's read a little bit.
No time for
let's
that.
have a committee, whatever. Like, another place, another few bird names, and no, you don't have to. So for that, I like to to break out the businesses like this, because all my career that had taught me that for each of type of businesses you have like very specific approaches and priorities. But yeah, advertising is all about urgency and timing. That's what it is.
Yeah. I want to backtrack a little bit. How did you land at Horizon? How did you move from Spain to the US, and how was it like, adjusting? Was it as easy as going from France to Spain?
No. No, not at all. It was very difficult. So my wife basically got an opportunity. She was working for Toys R Us, like the toys company at that time. Unfortunately, they bankrupted. And we came here. There was no decision process, basically. I was working on a project. I remember it was a tough project with an American client actually in Madrid. And she called me and said, look, I ran into Antonio, the CEO of Toys R Us at that time. And he asked me if I had interest to go to the US to take a position there. And I told her, all right, you said yes, right? She said, yeah. I said yes. Okay, we're good.
Let's go.
I have to go back to work. And that's it. 8
Wow.
months after we're here. That's the decision process. That's it.
That's such a big move to have taken it so lightly, and both of you having established your career already where you were and having to start over in a big country. Were you not scared at all?
No, not at all. No. You imagine I've been doing very dangerous things, sailing in very tough waters. Like taking a plane and leave here, honestly, was nothing. And we were at the time, like my kids, my older Jaime was 9 and Guillermo was 3. So we wanted to have something which is a family project.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this together is really something I recommend, right? It's something that all of us, we had our challenges. A little bit less Guillermo because he was younger, but all of us, we had our challenges. We had to adapt. The language, we were speaking English already. I was in Accenture. My career was in English mostly. So the thing is, we had to adapt. We had to learn new things. We had to make friends, and we had to figure it out. What can I tell you? That's it. We did not think too much about it, right? And we just did it. So we were not scared, etc. And then after, when we came in, we said it was not as easy as it looks.
So she had a job secured. What about you?
I quit PwC. I had been like 6 years there.
What were you thinking that you were going to be doing?
We had like a few dollars saved, and she had secured a job. So yeah, there was no reason. I had worked. I speak English. I had good engineering pedigree and done work with all those prestigious companies. There was no reason, right?
You have the confidence.
Yeah. So it's very important that you have the confidence. Now, what you need is a good amount of resilience, because what you find when you arrive is very different from what you think you will get.
What was the biggest disparity that you saw?
Everything in the American culture and American society culture, etc., is framed differently compared to Europe, right? It's just what's important for people there is different here, right? And the perception on certain things is different. For example, like for me, the fact that I had like a very nice resume with mostly Accenture and PwC, right? And all those prestigious clients in private equity, etc. It would be cake.
Anything.
No, it was not cake at all. It was tough, and I had to understand why, and then start like building my story, right? And
did you have any rejections that maybe weighed it down on your confidence at the time?
Yeah, you have a lot of rejection at the beginning because you believe that it would be cake, and you say, no, it's not that cake. And what you have to do is really question yourself and understand what's wrong and what's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, you are bringing good stuff, right? But most of the time, when you see that movie, The Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's an amazing movie, right? And when he explains the pitch, I mean the commercial pitch, he said, when you call someone, people have nothing against the product. They have against the fact that they don't know you, right?
Yeah.
And that's a little bit what you have when you come here. They don't know you. And my wife, she was coming into a company that she was part of, so she was a transfer. But my case, I was just, hey, hello,
Hi, I'm
I'm
Jean-Marc.
and you have to be known. So for me, one of the biggest decision that were fundamental in our experience here is choosing a town where the sense of community was strong. And being involved in the community, right? So right away, got back into sailing, being involved in the Cub Scouts. I was a treasurer of the Cub Scout pack, being involved in all sport, I guess, ski with my kids. I mean, like all type of sport with the kids. And I was very, very involved in the community, right? So this way you learn about how things work. People get to know you, and the people see that they can, to some extent, they can trust you, right?
Yeah.
And I think also many people were asking us, but how long will you stay? And you see people that don't want to invest in you if you don't want to stay.
Yeah, if they think that you're just here temporarily.
Yeah, so we said, no, we are here to stay for now. We don't have plans, so you have to be, you have also to commit yourself to it, right? And then progressively you learn, and the opportunities appear, and you seize them or not. That's it. Yeah.
If you have advice for someone that is basically starting from scratch here, not starting from scratch in their career, but having to rebuild a network, what's your advice?
Let's assume that person is someone successful, right? Or even half successful. So think about everything you have done in your life, how much failure, how much success. And you will see that most of what you have done in your life is a success. And I love to quote Roger Federer about this. I think he says he won 84% or 90% of his matches in career. But he only won 53 or 54% of the points. Right? It means that, but it's still on the right side, right? It means you have to think about all of the all what it's needed to win, and that's it. You will have, like Roger Federer, he had like 47 or 46% that he didn't win. So it will not be perfect, right? But think about like all what you have been able to achieve in your career, and there's no reason that it doesn't work for you, right? So, and it's very difficult, the rejection and the challenges, and sometimes you don't understand what's going on, and you have people ghosting you. Doesn't matter. Just you have to continue because there will be an opportunity at some point. That's really for me my biggest advice. And stay who you are. I mean, stick with your values, stick with who you are, and you should be fine. People love that. People who have values and convictions and stuff. So that's completely fine. Yeah.
Well, it worked for you. Eventually, you were able to accomplish big things here in your career as well. You were mentioning Horizon. You went from joining as a consultant to being an SVP there. How did that happen? What was the top quality that you had that allowed you to climb the ladder in that company?
I think as I said earlier, the most important is to understand your client business, right? And I came as a consultant. I spent a considerable amount of energy and time to understand advertising, right? Like dating with advertising and falling in love progressively, right?
Yeah.
And so just this shows that you have interest. If you don't show you have interest, the opportunity will not come to you.
True.
So you just have to do the minimum. Say, no, okay, I'm doing this. I don't know it, but I'm interested in, and I'm bringing other things to the table. So I think you have to show you have interest, and you have like to work hard on this, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is in my opinion, is you have not to limit yourself, right? If you have ideas, if you have suggestion, I think you have to go for it. You have to be vocal. You can't wait the opportunities to come to you.
Yeah.
You have to generate those opportunities, and the more you age, the more you have to generate the opportunity. The less they come to you. When you're younger, you come from a good school. I mean, you have opportunities, but when you are a senior guy, they don't come to you. You have to go for them, but you don't have to go for them that intentionally. You have just to put yourself in a situation where they come. So just have an opinion on thing, right? Do an extra research on a certain thing. Build certain type of relationships. Say, hey, by the way, I was at that conference. I talked with Namketa, and she invited me to a podcast, and we will just we will talk about certain things that can be interesting, right?
Okay.
So you have to do those things, and then the opportunity, the promotion, is not something that you will chase for. That will just come to you.
Yeah.
You always have to fight a little bit.
Yeah.
But you have to fight for yourself. But it's you first. The first thing you have to do is really being committed to run the extra mile. And I would quote Bill Koenigsberg, the CEO and founder of Horizon. When I joined Horizon, one of the first things I'd done is watching video of Bill, because I didn't know nothing about the company and media, so I had to know who is Bill Koenigsberg. And I remember a video where there was someone asking him a question about how to be successful, right? And he says, and I will always remember that, run the last mile, because there are very few people there on the last mile.
I love that.
I think that's a very good one, yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes we stop right at the time that we were able to, push forward. That's great.
Yeah, you if you limit yourself, people will not unlimit yourself. Yeah. You are your first advocate, right?
Is there anything that you are particularly proud of, during your time at Horizon, any accomplishment that when you look back, you're like, yeah, that was a great one. That's a big challenge that I was able to take on.
What I'm proud of? Many things. One, I'm very proud of my team that I had there. It's called now Data Enablement. I guess they will watch the video, so I say hello to them. And why I'm very proud of them is because they did a good work. They were passionate, never complain, and they work hard. And they're kind. Kindness is key for me, right? So I'm very proud of that team. The second thing is I'm proud of what we've achieved technically, right? So we built the foundation of something which is called the Blue Platform, which is, technically the first identity resolution framework in the industry. We have done this with the chief data officer at that time and a few other people. And honestly, it was great. It's still great. This is still the foundation of everything that is built in the Blue Platform, right? So I'm proud that I was able to bring value to this. And it was not easy. There was a lot of confrontation.
What made it hard?
Because what I brought to the table is my rigor and my French bad mood. So
I know about that.
I remember the first meeting that I said to the chief data officer, I disagree with you. She was saying that I disagree with you. I see all my colleagues looking at me. Is this guy want to be fired or what? And I said, I disagree. And she looked at me like if I was completely coming from the moon, like something. And I said, no, I disagree. And we had that friendly confrontation. And I disagree because of this and this and this. I think we should be doing things this way. And sometimes I was wrong. Sometimes I was not, right? Yeah. Sometimes I was right. But all together, we were building something. I'm very proud of this because it was a sum of people and the partners. We work with TransUnion. We work with a small consulting firm on this. and also with all our partners, data partners, media partners, I mean, like all the main that you know. And he was really good at, we were like challenging ourselves all the time. And always with kindness, respect, and honestly, we are now like super friends, all of us, right? So I'm very proud of this, having built that let's say, group of people that we were not meant to be together. And
but
we
you
were
made it
able to
happen.
build something. Yeah, I'm very proud of this. You see, all what I say is all about people.
Yeah. It's all about people, and it also sounds like the common thread in this and across your career is also data. Why is data so important?
Because it never lies. Data never lies.
Yeah.
So you hear every day, everywhere, that many people say, no, data is wrong. And I always say people, no, data is never wrong. Data does not say what you want to hear. That's one option. Or second, you don't understand the specification, how that data was collected.
Yeah.
And as you don't have this, it does not say something that makes sense to you. But it's never wrong. I can promise. You can have like quality issues. You can, because you are missing, you have like emptiness, and I mean like empty cells, whatever. But data is never wrong. So what always you need to do is understand what's in there and what you can do with it.
And maybe the method that you use to collect the data too, because can't data also be manipulated to show a certain result? No?
Data is, my definition of data is a succession of arbitrary decisions. It goes from hand to hand. From each time you have people deciding, I will do this with that parameter, or I will do that with that parameter. You have like a human being, and now you will have agents doing it for doing it. That is that people who are taking a decision, right? Like for example, we have like data about consumer goods, right? You have, for example, like a pack of cola drinks. Let's not do some advertising. Cola drinks, right? In cans, right? Like aluminum cans. It's a pack of 6, and with a cardboard around it. So what is it? This is a cola drink from a specific brand, or this is a soda drink in can, or is it a pack of soda drink, or if it's 6 ounces of soda
or fluid,
or fluid, right? So what is it? So you have to decide at some point what it means for you, right? And you have like to put this at the scale of like tons of different data set about consumer good, about viewership, about listenership, about like sentiment, yeah, and other things, right? About like even identity. So each time you have to take those decisions. When we did also matches, when you do identity resolution, you do a lot of matching, right? You have like to match your IDs with your partner IDs, right? How you do it, it's never perfect. People believe that it's like a perfect one-to-one, right? It's never the case. So it's what decision I'm taking to calculate things in a way that works for me. But again, this is an arbitrary decision. So it gets a little bit technical, but I think this is very important. And sometimes those arbitrary decisions don't work for you, and that's it. That's okay.
But since the variables of how you look at the data or how you categorize it or which one you decide to consider, since those variables change, how do you get to a point where you master that so that you're sure that the data is actually accurate and it's the right one that you need? How did you master that across so many industries?
So that's where the knowledge of the industry is key. Right, you really need to understand the business outcomes. In marketing, right, most of the time, you have 2 big categories of business outcomes, right? Which is targeting individuals and reporting, right? And measure the impact of your campaign. So those are the big categories. After you can break out in more specific things, building audiences, etc. So you have to really understand your business outcomes and how the data feeds those business outcomes. So for example, if you have you want to target people who are buying chocolate, right? For example. And so you need to understand, you need data about those people, where you get that data, right?
Yeah.
It can be from a CRM system, it can be from a data set that you, data licensing you have. It can be coming from different sources. So you really need to understand those business outcomes. So you can say, okay, I have identified a certain amount of people that are buying chocolate and are likely to buy my product, right?
Yeah.
Or the product I represent, and then I can start building audiences and finding those people in the different like media outlets, like on social, on open web, on CTV, on whatever, right? So it's very important to understand where you go, so you can actually you can source the proper ingredients, right? And in the middle you bake the cake.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
So
right?
basically you start at the end with the end goal, and then you can reverse engineer basically.
It's always the case. It's very so. There is a guy, and I'm very fan of him, but he said something that I always agree and disagree at the same time. He said, you have to understand that data scientists are viscerally attached to the data, which I agree to some extent, because it means that you give the data scientists everything you have, and they will figure out the insights. And I said, look, this is true, because you will find things that you would not have expected. But doing the induced approach, like what I call the top-down approach, start by the end, that will narrow down what you will be looking for.
Yeah.
And on the way there, you can find interesting things, and maybe you create an innovation team, because I will be more efficient here. Create an innovation team which playing with the data all day long and figure out new things. But I think it's always better to start by the end and go backwards. So you adapt your data with your outcomes. And many times you will see that you have like too many data that you don't need. So that's okay if you don't use everything.
But does that sometimes not leave something on the table when you are hyper focused on the outcome that you want? Maybe if you enlarge a little bit your viewpoints or the data sets that you're considering, maybe at the end you will come up with the conclusion that actually the outcome that I thought was going to be good is not what I actually needed. So let's change course.
You're right. I think this is a little bit of cost of opportunity, my opinion, right? Is, do I want to invest all that energy and that money in doing this, right? It's something that I'm not sure about. Maybe I will find great outcomes. The biggest discoveries were pizza was invented like this, right?
Yeah.
Let's try this, right? And it just happened to be very successful. But I think the cost of opportunity is huge, right? So when you are driven by outcomes, I think it makes you more efficient, and you can actually dedicate more energy to innovate and look outside in more intentionally, right? So because at the end of the day, the data is the data. It's just what it is. It's just, when you are looking at the business, you look at the business more comprehensively, and you can have that, you can fill the gap with other things, right? Because you say, no, I don't have data on this, I don't have data on that, I don't have data on this. So I can find, I can use my business acumen, my knowledge of the business to actually fill the gap, right?
So with all the transformations that you were able to make, what do you think businesses are missing when they overlook the importance of having consultants, do this, and they think they have it all figured out?
So what you're asking is that basically what consultants are bringing to the table, right?
Yeah.
So most of the time what you bring is clarity and ability to deliver. Where there can be a wrong perception is when you believe that consultant will solve your life.
Miracle work.
No, they don't do miracles, right?
Okay.
Maybe some are able to do it, but I've never seen it, and I've seen many. So I think, but clarity, yes, clarity, and because you are independent, right? You come with a POV on certain things, that fresh eye to situation, those certain things, to make them work. I say, hey, why don't we try this? And many people say, that's a stupid idea, right? And you try it and you say, actually, it's not about that stupid idea, right? We have the ability to understand situation from outside without emotion in it, without the stake really at the game. And say, we are doing things make sense this way. You could do things differently, right? And then ability to help the client doing the changes. If clients don't want to go through the changes, if the leadership is not engaged, that's useless.
So sometimes it's not just the findings, but also the implementation.
It's about the implementation, helping the implementation. At the end of the day, and I had that conversation with my grandfather many times. He never understood my job. He was saying, what are you doing? I don't understand it. You are going to companies explaining people their job. That is not exactly right. I'm helping people to extract more value out of their job, right? So at Blue Wind Advisory, we have developed basically a framework. I call that the V Zion. It's kind of because it looks like a V. And really what we do, we put the people at the middle, right? So I call that the people who are in the business is business practitioners, right? Because the people who know better the job they are doing is themselves. The person who knows more about media buying is the media buyer. I can tell you, there's no one who knows better than them, right? Or who knows about like social media buying, people who are doing social media buying on their own. There's no one who knows better than them, right? And so for that is for me now with AI and all that wave of leaders thinking that AI would replace people, I think my opinion, they're wrong. Because what we have now is having those people, those business practitioners who really know their job, have anyone's time, have tools to actually execute their job in a way more meaningful way. Spend less time cleaning up spreadsheets and less time generating report that are not really fulfilling the needs that they have and stuff like this. And AI will do that for them. So they will actually start doing properly their job.
Yeah, that's also my take with AI. I just feel like if you take someone that's totally ignorant about what they're doing and then you give them AI and then you give the same AI and the same desired outcome to a subject expert, the outcome is not going to be the same,
It would be irrelevant.
Yeah, whatever is coming out of the AI is however the human is driving it and the input that it's asking and the job that is going to be done with whatever the AI produces. So I feel like with just any technology, it will change the way we do certain tasks, but expertise will also follow that, and then we're just going to become more efficient, I think.
Yeah, you need to know your craft.
Yeah.
And there's no one better with someone who has experience and who takes pride in their work every day. I think that's the key. That's really Blue Wind Advisory. This is what we want to do, is bringing back the people at the center, people who are on it. And I talk with people in agencies or in ad tech every day, and I ask them, people like from different level of seniority, like C levels and people who are like VP levels and director level. And they say, yeah, we see AI, but we need more help to understand how it translates into our job, right?
Yeah.
And I think this is absolutely key to extract all that knowledge from those people who have like fantastic experience, who know so much. And we are like doing like a lot of technology and talking about LLM all day long. And this is not what it is about, because the LLM, anyway, the technology now figures it out by itself, right? Yeah. So it's not a problem about technology. I think like company need actually to rethink about who they are, what they do, how they make money, how they lose money. And then you can put AI in the right place, because people just will figure it out. It's so easy.
Going back to how you started Blue Wind, you reached SVP, right, at Horizon. For most people, yes, now finally, that's where I made it. And then you just leave to go create your own thing. What happened? How did you make that decision? Why?
I mean, you see, all my career I've been looking for challenges all the time, right? So if there is an easy option and a complex option, I will always choose a challenging one. That's for sure, right? So I needed really a new challenge, and it's not that I needed to leave Horizon or whatever. It's a fantastic organization, but I needed a new challenge. And since last summer, I spent a lot of time talking with friends of mine and who are entrepreneurs, who are very successful, and all of them have been pushing me. Said, no, you have the right age, you have the experience. And so I've been for about, let's say all second part of 2025, looking at different businesses, right? So I wanted to build like a paddle center, like paddle, like it's sport. So I would say I have to do that. So I have like a project ready to start with an academy, with a brand of paddle racket, ready to start. You have just to put a few dollars in it, not too many actually, ready to go. And I had dinner in Paris in December with a friend of mine who is, brutally successful. He sold his company. He's a bit older than me, but he told me, you have the right age. You are perfectly equipped to do that, but just one thing. Don't do something that you don't know.
That's solid advice.
Very solid advice. He's a guy from the food business. He always worked in food, right? Yeah. He said, don't do something that you don't know. I said, well, the only thing I know is consulting. And he hates consultants. He's an interesting guy, right? And I say, yeah, it's consulting. So, but go do consulting then. That's it. Go for it. If that's what you know, that's where you will have a client, where you will have impact, you will bring value. Why are you questioning this? Why do you have been working into this in more than 20 years? So what are you talking about, right? And I said, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wanted to do something else, but yeah, you're right. That's what I know, right? So that's it. And then when Horizon was redefining a little bit the strategy for the year and doing some organization change, it was just the right moment to say, okay, let's go. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And Horizon is my first client.
That's amazing. But is there anything that you needed to learn or adjust, any change between being, an entrepreneur versus being an executive at a larger company?
I take the entrepreneurship thing relatively late in my career, right? So I have to learn a lot of things. What's difficult is not actually the amount of work, is the amount of different things that you have to do and focus on them. You have to focus on doing your contract. I have now like 5 NDAs and contract because I have like partnership to referral contract to do it. I'd like to sign 5 of them. I have to review them. I have to understand what's going on. Maybe I take a lawyer, right? You have to do that. You have, then it's not I have like a legal department. Say, legal, can you take it? No, can you get it now? You do it, right? Yeah. You have like to generate your invoice. You have like to, if like the people who are working with you, you have to pay them. Like looking at the time report. I had to build like thanks to AI, like an a time report tool for that, right? Yeah. So you have to do many different things that are necessary to operate the business on a daily basis. Yeah. So, and this is exhausting because you don't have like no one to ask. You just have to do it.
Yeah. In a nutshell, what specific problems is Blue Wind Advisory solving for their clients? And who is the perfect candidate that, will need your services?
Any company can benefit of what we do. So what we solve is what we call the company's data and AI enablement. So it means extracting the highest value from your AI implementations, right? The highest value is something which is quantifiable. It can be operational efficiencies, which is reducing your cost, and or revenue increase, which is increasing revenue, right? Yeah. Or other metric that you want to get, right? Like faster management of certain operations or increase your employee satisfaction, whatever metric you are looking for, right? So we work typically with chief data officers, that's what we do at Horizon, or chief technology officer, typically, right? And CTOs are under pressure right now because AI is very expensive and the results are not coming, right? It's not right away. So board members are saying, what's going on here? We are spending like millions of dollars in tokens and we don't see revenue increase. Why are you doing this, right? So now what we are doing is we're aligning the business with the data and AI, so we can show the performance. We have a model that I call like the no-cost consulting. So we have created. So the first thing I have done is creating partnerships with companies who have a very specific expertise in cost reduction. For example, with Cloud Ex Machina, they look at cloud cost, and we have agents that are looking at the cloud configuration and optimize the configuration so that reduces the cost of cloud, right? Working with Layton on tax credit, right? So you have like AI, R&D AI tax credit that you can get. So they work with you to apply to IRS to get those tax credits, right? So all of this, so basically the way we work, so I build like that all those partnerships to do those initiatives. We have those savings that you put in a pool, like in the bucket of money, and with that bucket of money, you work through your AI transformation. So you don't have an investment and a return on investment. The return on investment is necessarily positive, right? So that's why we are special, because we want to tackle this very comprehensively, where we generate immediate value for our clients.
Apart from that, what do you want to be the differentiator between you and other consulting firms? What sets you apart, and what do you strive to become?
I mean, in my case, I want to a little bit reinvent the consulting model, right? I want this to be fresh and cool.
Fresh and cool.
Because it does not. What we want to do is working with our client, rolling up our sleeves, right, understanding their problem and be there, right? It's not about coming, like I was at Accenture with my tie and like my gray suit and like doing like tons of PowerPoints. This is definitely not where we want to get our hands dirty, working with them on their strategy, on their execution, and optimizing the whole thing, right? The whole chain that they have. So that's really what we want to do. Fresh and cool. You don't feel that you are working with consultant, but we are still focusing on project to deliver value in a short term.
I know you said any business can benefit from this, but do you have specific industries that you're focusing on right now?
Yeah, I mean, definitely advertising and advertising technology, marketing, right? So this is where we are strong. The industry is changing dramatically right now. AI is disrupting this a lot. You start seeing agentic media buys. So that's really where we are going to start.
That's awesome. When you look back at the whole journey, what is the hardest moment that you went through, and what did you do to, stay driven and to stay focused on your goals?
There are many difficult moments. For me, probably the most difficult was at the beginning of my career. When I was working for Accenture, I mean, in Spain, you don't leave at 5. The office is when you come back from lunch normally. That sounds weird, but yeah. I mean, exaggerating it a bit. And then you work at 10 p.m., midnight every day.
What?
1 a.m. Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, past midnight, it's usual. So yeah, it was very, very difficult to manage the work-life balance, right? Between having your family, your life, and this, right? And at the end of the day, I kind of not burned out, but yeah. So when I ended that time, I remember I was at the FNAC, it's a bookstore in Madrid, and there was a book that was just released called Trabajar sin sufrir. So work without suffering. And honestly, I realized, holy crap, I'm suffering when I
Suffering,
work, right?
yeah.
And I bought the book, and I called the writer.
Hmm?
And honestly, I was just transitioning out from Accenture. I was done. And I called the writer. I said, come and see me in my office. Talk to her. I said, I will introduce you to someone. Introduced me to Carmen. So the writer was Maria Jesus Alava. She's a wonderful woman. And I remember Carmen told me, look, you have been working for so long at Accenture and working so hard and traveling. Do you have something you want to do and to reward yourself? Well, no, I don't need. I don't deserve reward, and I have no reasons. You deserve. You have worked so hard. I have not been very successful recently. And he said, maybe there is something. And it happened, my buddy, one of my best friends, Antoine, he was organizing a trip in the Canary Island to do a windsurfing. And I called Antoine and said, Antoine, I did not think I would come, but I will come finally. And it was in 2008, in December 2008. And what we have done the 18th edition of that trip last December.
Past December?
The 18th edition of that trip that we do every December. Now we do in Tarifa, in the south of Spain, every December on a group of 6 friends. So the best advice I had in my life, give you a reward. When you are struggling, give you a reward, because most of the time you are excellent, and you have like moments that are difficult for you, doesn't matter. Most of the time you are doing well, so give you that reward. And honestly, that specific trip with Antoine, I would name them, Arnaud, and Edouard, that changed my life.
Wow. What did that teach you about purpose? That sense of having something outside of the normal grind that we're all doing to survive. And, mental health too.
I think everyone should have a purpose, right? Mine is very clear. I did a few years ago sustainability strategy course at Harvard. And the first module of the course was building your purpose. For me, it was quite easy because I had no word on it, but I had it somewhere in my head, right, my gut. Yeah. And it's very simple. My purpose is having a positive impact on organization and people surrounding me. I could write this, and that's my purpose in life, right? I can talk about climate, about society, about people, whatever it is, right? So for me, purpose is the key of my life, right? That's fundamental. That's just the foundation of everything I do.
That's amazing. Any last thoughts that you have to share with the audience?
Last to share with the audience, live your life. Live your life. Nobody else will live it for you. Seize the opportunity. Don't be afraid. So go for it and have fun. Have fun at work. Please have fun at work. That's the most important.
Don't suffer when you're working.
Don't suffer.
That's awesome. That stayed with me. Don't suffer when you're working.
That's exactly right. Don't suffer. And you realize many times you're suffering. And when you suffer, you have to say, what do I do now?
All right. So thanks again for the amazing insights. The name of the podcast is Atypical Journey, and your journey is certainly atypical with all the transformations and, the different approaches to your career that you took. And I'm sure that it's going to help someone maybe sitting there and wanting a change and maybe being afraid to do it. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a real pleasure.
And to all of you, thank you for watching. See you next time for another episode of Atypical Journey. If you are not subscribed, thousands of you watch my episodes and you do not subscribe to my channel. It's a free, easy, quick way to show me that you care. Thank you.